Okay, can y'all? No, hold on. Share. Okay, can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of going over Brittany Howard's video of what she did and how she got from silver to diamond. So if you don't know, Brittany Howard was silver for 2 years. And so that's mind blowing to me because she's one of the most like well-known diamonds out there with Plexus. And so she did this protocol or this system, whatever you want to call it, pretty much with only signing for 40 VIPs, which is crazy. And the one thing that she talked about in her video was she was just consistent. She did this system and then she taught her VIPs to do the system as well. The VIPs that turned into um, brand ambassadors. So she talked about there being 6 buckets of people. And so the first bucket is people that have already expressed interest. And then you have runners, dream teamers, all in. The third bucket is people that you can think of where if they jumped into doing this, it would change their life if they decided to do it. So like people that have discipline. The fourth bucket is they used to share Plexus, but they quit. And then the fifth one is they engaged on your content. And then the sixth one is just a stranger on the internet that you can look at their content and you could see that they could do this if they did decide to. And so all of this is like I make different lists for each buckets. And so um what I did for day one was like whenever I sat down watching her video, I was like, okay, I'm going to make my list of people for all of my buckets. And then tomorrow I'm going to reach out to bucket number one. Then the next day I'm going to reach out to bucket number two. That way it wasn't so overwhelming for me to like, I just have to, my brain, I have to do things in like little stuff. Um, but the higher on the list, the shorter the process. So obviously, if when you do the system and you reach out to bucket number one, it's going to be a shorter process than versus you reaching out to somebody in bucket number six because all of this has to do with connections and building trust. And so somebody that's already expressed interest versus somebody that does not know you, that you're just pitching all of a business to no, bucket number one is going to be easier to get them on your team. Okay, so the process of this is everything is a voice message, nothing is a text. And that is because they need to hear your voice, they need to hear the emotions and know it's not just a copy and paste message because the biggest thing that people don't like about network marketing is they think everything's a copy paste. And so, voice message, not text. They need to hear your voice. And Christina Williams was on the call as well, and she talked about how the voice message should not be longer than 2 minutes and 30 seconds because she says if she sees it over 2 minutes and 30 seconds, she's deleting it. And so that just kind of made me laugh. The second thing with this process is follow the script, but also adjust it to make it sound like you. So fill out the conversation and go with the flow because there is a script and there is a process to this, but it also, like I found whenever I was doing all of my bucket number ones, like I didn't use the same exact script. I used the kind of the outline of it, but it changes based on like the person. And then the third part of the process, use me, Haley, Allie, Jill as your upline um, in the three-way messages. So use a variety of us so that way it doesn't overwhelm just one person. So like I used Jill for several of mine, and then I used Haley for several of mine. And that way it wasn't all on Jill or all on Haley. Christina Howard says to not just say a big paycheck a month, but she says to actually give them a number. And so, because that's going to speak to their emotions more, because then you're actually, because anybody can say somebody's making a big paycheck. But when you say, hey, this is my friend Jill, she's bringing home 15 to $20,000 a month, that speaks a lot more than she's a diamond. Like people don't really understand that until you give them a number. I'm not going to read like the formulas. I mainly just did that so that everybody would kind of like have it in case I wrote everything down because I'm crazy like that. But I mainly just did this so that like if anybody wanted to like take a picture, sorry, my phone is blowing up. Take a picture or um however you want to do it, but obviously this will be in the recording as well. But for bucket number one, this is people who have already expressed interest. You're going to use this script, obviously, like I just said, twist it to make it like towards that person. Um, and then after this, so after you voice message this, the upline is going to come in and then she has a script that she's going to say. Okay, same thing for bucket number two. Here's the script. Then the upline will come in and then she will say hers. And so it's like that for all the buckets. Like I said, I just posted this or just did this so that y'all would have it in like one place. Um, so say you have somebody, like for example, I had somebody that I did the three-way message, I did mine, Jill came in and did hers, and then he actually did a voice message back. And so the next step is to get on the phone. I did this with two of mine and two or three of mine, and they both ended in a phone call. And so the goal is whenever they say yes, yes, I would like, because if we go back, like how it ends is what are your thoughts? Like blah, 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 blah. What are your thoughts? Is this something you might be interested in? And so when they say yes, your job is to get them on the phone. It is uncomfortable. I hated it. Y'all know I don't like getting on the phone. I will literally look at the phone while you call me and ignore me. Sorry, Adeline. I hate getting on the phone. But I will say, if I want to grow my business, I can't avoid the phone call. Like it's uncomfortable, but I have to do it. And so get on the phone with them, get on a Zoom with them. So like one of mine wanted to get on the phone call. I was like, absolutely, I'm going to do it because if I can grow my business, I'm going to get uncomfortable and I'm going to get on the phone call. The other person, he wanted to do a Zoom call. And I was like, okay, we're going to do a Zoom call. And we did. And it was very uncomfortable, but it was also very thrilling in the best way because it was like, I feel confident in that now. Um, so with the phone call or the Zoom, you can do a three-way or you can do it by yourself. It just depends on your level of comfort. I decided to do it by myself just because I didn't want to bother Jill. And I know if I would have asked her, she would have jumped on. She even said she would. But I also just wanted to kind of see if I could do it by myself. And I did. And they both went amazing. And so you will not bother me if you want to do a phone call, a three-way phone call or three-way Zoom. I know you won't bother Adeline. You won't bother Haley. Like, if it's going to grow your business, we're going to help you. And so, obviously, that is up to you on your comfort level. And so, the flow of the call, so you did your script, they said yes, then you get to get on the phone call. So, the first thing you're going to do is you are going to share your why. 2 minutes. You're literally just going to share your why. Why did you start? You're going to connect with them. You're going to say what problem you had, business, not the product. So for me, and I think a lot of us is finances. And so what solution you have, and then why are you excited or what you've accomplished and how you can help them. And then after that, you're going to connect their why. So you're going to say, okay, that's about me. Tell me about you. Which part piqued your interest? What results would it be meaningful to you? Would it be making $500 a month? Why? Like, what would that $500 be? And this is where Jill, Adeline, I know you know that Jill talked a lot about this, where she digs deep. She's like, why would that $500 mean a lot? And if it's like, so my husband doesn't work as much, why does that matter to you? So that my husband can be home more. Why does that matter to you? So my family can, so it digs deeper than just finances. Um, and then this is where you listen. You shut up and you listen, and it's going to be awkward. Okay. The goal of step two is to figure out what they want with the business. Then after that, you listen, and it is awkward, and there's a little bit of awkwardness in step two, but then in step three, it's a lot of awkwardness. I followed this flow with both of mine, and I was like, say something. It's awkward, but trust the process. Brittany Howard knows what she's talking about. So the third step of the phone call is going to be you casting vision for them. Um, be honest with them. Don't tell them that they're diamond material if they're only gold. So if they're gold, don't give them kind of false hope. Um, you could ask them a question like, you want them to dream in this step. So you would say something like, what would your life look like if you reached ruby, if you reached gold? And then you can talk about the income that is with that. You're going to get them to dream in this step. And then you pause, and it is awkward. And then after you pause and you let them think about it, then you go to step four, and then this is when you handle their objections. They are going to most people have like 2 to 3 objections. And with both of mine, they had plenty. And I was like, okay, tell me the next objection. And so they're going to have plenty because one, network marketing has all the objections. Like people, we just have a bad rap. Um, so this is when you would be like, okay, what are your thoughts on this so far? What do you think that you could do this? And then this is when they're going to be like, well, here's my objection. And so you can ask them, what are your fears surrounding that objection? And then this is where we talk a lot about this, feel, felt, found. So I understand how you feel. I felt the same way too, but here's what I found. And so you're making them feel seen. You're making their objection feel heard, but you're also giving them a different perspective with it. And then you want to make sure that you overcame that objection. So you're going to say, okay, what are your thoughts? This is where you listen. I know I just said a lot. What are your thoughts on everything so far? The next objection is going to surface. And so, like I said, people have 2 to 3 objections. And so once you overcome one, they're going to feel more comfortable, and then they're going to talk about the next objection and so on. And then after that, you close. And there are one of 2 ways that you can close. And so the first way is if they're ready and they're interested, they're ready to sign up, they're ready to do the business with you. You make it simple, simple micro steps. You help them place the order on the phone. Get them placing their order on the phone. We all know how to do that. Ask their health goals, all of that. Get them a browse chat started so that that is a simple and easy way that they can get people plugged into it. Ask them 3 people that they do life with the most. Help them send them a message. So help them form a message and send that message to them. Help them get their first 3 without talking of a rank. Don't say silver. They don't know anything about a rank. Just say, who are your 3 people? Help them get their first 3 and just focus on that. Don't say, let's go gold. There's gold rush going on right now. Like that's going to overwhelm them. Do micro steps. The second way that you could close it is if they're not ready. And so if they're not ready, that was the same thing. But if they're not ready, then you say, okay, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk to you. Like with both of mine, um, one of mine said, I'm going to talk to my husband and I'm going to let you know. And I'm still at the follow-up phase with her. And so we're talking back and forth. I'm following up with her. And I'm just kind of giving her some space, but also letting her know that I haven't forgotten about her or our conversation. With my other one, he wanted to talk to his wife. And so he actually wants to get together with me, his wife, and him so that we can all talk about it. So another 3-way conversation. And so you just follow up, not to where it's annoying or bothering them, but just being like in an authentic way. And so those are the 2 ways that you can close the phone call conversation. So I know I said a lot. I'm trying to beat the time this time since last time we like went way over. But the challenge that I want us to do, what do we have? Only like a week left. Where's my calendar? we have like a week and a couple of days left of the month. And so what I want us to try to do for the rest of this month, and this is for me too, like this challenge is not just for y'all, it's for me too, but do 5 voice messages doing a three-way chat using one of those. So step one would be going through all the buckets and making your list. Then take it slow. Do bucket one day, bucket two the next day. And I didn't have people for every bucket, so it's going to be different for everybody. But I just want to challenge everybody to do 5 voice messages using the three-way system. So, Alexis, you would use Adeline for your three-way. Kayla, you would use me or Haley, somebody like that. Um, just to, one, get used to it. Two, I feel like if we do this, all of us, including me, do this just consistently, if it worked for Brittany Howard and her team, my gosh, she has so many diamonds under her. So if it worked for her, why wouldn't it work for us? And it might take a couple of times, like it might take people being leaving you on red and you hearing no 24/7, but there's going to be that one person, just like Paige Hobbs said, there's going to be one person that you're not going to expect it from that person, and it's going to blow your team up in the best way. And so I want to challenge us to do 5 voice messages using the three-way chat and then see if you can get on a Zoom or a phone call with that person. And you've got to be bold in doing that. Um, and then the last thing that I have is me and Adeline have come up with something called the Plexus Preview. And I'm very excited about this. So I don't know if everybody was on the call that Ambrosia did last Tuesday. It was about the business opportunity, and she had Haley and her sister share. But so I messaged Ambrosia and I was like, "What are you doing?" Because I don't know if y'all have noticed, but sh this girl is on the I don't know what it's called, the Plexus leaderboard or leadership board or something like that every single week. They do it weekly, and she's on there every week, and she's like either first or second. And so I messaged her and I was like, "What are you doing? How are you getting people to actually get on the calls?" Because that's my biggest setback is like getting people to join the calls. And she said a lot of things. She sent me her little PowerPoint thing that she did on there. And so I made a copy of it. So me and Adeline, you know, made it our own. But she said consistency. And so we're going to try this just for our team. I'm not going to even like tell Jill I'm doing this or anything because I know Jill and she's going to be like, do it for everybody. And I want us to feel comfortable doing it with like not everybody to kind of, because it's out of my comfort zone. I know it's out of, or Adeline's comfort zone, and it might be out of y'all's. And so I want us to get like comfortable with it before we even like make it a huge thing. But she said, or me and Adeline talked and we said we're going to try this for 90 days. And I wrote it in my calendar when 90 days would be up because Jill always talks about try something for 90 days, reconvene and see how it went. And so me and Adeline are starting this in August. And so we're going to alternate weeks. And this is going to be every Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. And so what that looks like for us is we are going to, like, one week I am going to be hosting the call, the Plexus preview. That's what we're calling it. I will host it. The first one's August 4th. So I'm going to host that one. I'm going to invite people to it. Adeline's going to invite people to it. Y'all are going to invite people to it, but I'm hosting it. So I'm going to go over everything. But it's also, since I'm hosting it, it's my job to find one person to share their testimony. It could be Haley, it could be Allie. This is where it's really cool because you can reach out to people like Libby and like, and they love sharing their testimony in that. And so like it doesn't have to be somebody on our team. It can be Jill, it can be somebody from a different team, Marissa Adams, like it's a really cool thing to just build the network and the connections with that. And so since I'm hosting the first week, it's my job to find one other person to share their testimony. So that other person, so just say it's Jill. Jill will share her testimony. I'm sharing my testimony, and Adeline is sharing her testimony. So we're going to have 3 people each week. Then the next week, it's Adeline's turn to host. So then it's her job to find somebody to share their testimony. So she's going to host it. She's going to share her testimony. I'm going to share my testimony. And then her guest is going to share. So me and Adeline will be sharing each week. And the cool thing about this is it's consistent. The only thing that changes is the guest and their story. Ambrosia does this every Tuesday. It only lasts about 15 minutes. We can do this on tired days because it is 15 minutes. And the only way that this is going to work is if we are consistent with it. And it's going to take, and I'm saying this because I know I'm going to be tired. And me and Adeline even talked about this because the first one is on the first day of school. And so I know I'm going to be tired and I'm going to be exhausted, but it's going to take us being committed to it, us not having excuses, and to just make it a thing and be consistent with it for 90 days because I mean, it's just like the gut health system. If you don't do it for 90 days, you don't know if it's actually working. Um, she said that she had 10 VIPs, Ambrosia said that she had 10 VIPs join her last month by doing this. And so she kind of talked to me a lot about, and we can go more in depth in this like later, and I can share what she told me, but she kind of told me like what to do if they don't join the call, what to do if they do join the call. And so she gave me a lots of tips that I can share with y'all whenever it gets closer to it. But she is insanely good at duplicating. And this is how she is so close to getting Emerald. She's on the leadership board every single week. And so all that to say, I'm going to need help with this. Um, when August is here, it's all of our jobs to invite people to this. Um, I'm hosting it. It doesn't mean that I am the only one inviting, if that makes sense. So everybody invites. It could be new people. It could be the same people every time until they order. That's something that Ambrosia talked about. Um, but when you have someone on the call learning about the products and learning about the business, then you're more likely to not use, and I'm speaking to myself, I'm tired as an excuse. And so when September comes around, because me and Adeline are doing August, so September, whenever it comes around, I would love for y'all to help out with hosting if that is something that y'all are willing to get out of your comfort zone with. We can do a rotation like me and Adeline did, so where it's like, each of us take 1 week and then it wouldn't be like one person's doing all month, if that makes sense. But that way you have all of August to kind of watch and see how we did it. But again, it's the same slides every single week. The only thing that changes is who's sharing their story. And like that's maybe 5 minutes, if that. Honestly, probably less than 5 minutes. But in order for this to work, we've got to be consistent with it, consistent with inviting people to the calls. And then I was going to make like a little checklist type thing of what to do when they come to the call, what to do after, like they watch the call, and then what to do if they don't come to the call. All of that Ambrosia kind of helped me with. But consistency, no excuses, 90 days. What do y'all think?
That sounds like a plan.
I'm here for it. I mean, sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. I'm on the phone and not my computer. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a cool idea. No. Sorry. I did have a question really quick though about
Yes.
the three-way chats. Do you ask them before you throw them in a three-way chat, or do you just throw them in there and be like, here you go?
Just
You
throw them
do.
in there.
Okay.
Let me pull
Yeah,
up like
I wanted
just an
you to explain
example.
just a little bit more about like the three-way chat. I know I put a comment in there and was asking like, could you explain a little bit? So like, would it be me just being like, okay, this person has been interested but hadn't really communicated a whole lot, so I just throw them in a chat and me and
No,
Adeline
there
talk?
is so there's 6 buckets of people. We talked about this at the very beginning.
I think I missed
Um,
that. Sorry.
no, you're fine. So like bucket number one would be people that have already expressed interest in the business. And so you would make a list of people that fall in that bucket. And then you would use bucket number one formula. So you would use this system or this script type thing for the people in bucket number one.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I think I missed the beginning of it because
No,
I
you're fine.
wasn't right on.
No, you're fine. I recorded it. Um, oh, I can zoom in. Okay. So like an example of bucket number one. So I'm going to use Kayla as an example because she expressed interest in it. So I would be like, hey, Kayla, I wanted to start this chat with you and Haley because number one, I just really love your heart for people. I love to see what you're doing day to day on your social media. You are natural on your stories, which is why I wanted to introduce you to Haley because she is the same way. She's a natural on her stories and just has so much energy like you. She is actually who introduced me to Plexus. She is insanely successful and actually helping a lot of people like me and you who want to create something bigger in this space. She makes about $7,000 to $15,000 a month. So I'm not sure if you are still wanting to do something like this for more income or even the community aspect of it. But the good news is if you decide to do this with me, I know I'm new and I'm just getting started, but she has a lot of experience helping people just like me and could be just like you to find exactly what they want in this space. And we come as a package deal. So I just wanted to connect us here and wanted you to hear her story. And I would love to hear if this is something that you are interested in learning a little bit more about. So that would be my voice message. And then Haley would come in and she would do a voice message and she would kind of piggyback off of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now that you like put it in that way. So yeah, that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that I can be like, I want to introduce you to Adeline or I want to introduce you to Jessica. They have more experience than me
Mm-hmm.
and all that. So it does make me feel a little bit better because I still like I wanted to go live several times like on Facebook and TikTok, but I want to know more about like each product before I jump out there and just be like, oh, this is what this does, and then me give false information. So
Yeah.
like I think that's where I struggle with the most is like learning each individual. So like when I watch your lives or your stories or your walk and talks or whatever, and you're like telling all these things about how the gut health system works and the goods and the bads, and I'm like, I want to be like that.
Yeah. They actually have gut health master classes on Saturdays. And so if you go to the Plexus website and then go to resources training hub,
hmm
it's like a calendar and you can click like the different trainings that they have. So like I
Oh,
missed Libby's Power Hour and so I went there today and clicked it and then watched it.
oh, okay, okay.
But if you sign up for it, well, really if you don't sign up for it because they have the training hub, but you can like you don't have to be live. You can watch the recording.
And then you can just write your notes down
Yeah.
like from that and be
Hmm.
able to, okay.
Yep.
That makes a lot more sense because I'm like, I want to do like not necessarily the walk and talks because I don't want to take like what you do, but like I want to be able to freely get on and have a conversation with someone to make them understand like why our gut health system is so good, compared to you trying these over the counter things that's not working.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to give them that information.
Yeah. 1,000%. Now with these, this is just business. Like these are business reach outs. And so what you would do to get, hold on, let me get to it. So where you would be talking about like products with this one would be, oh my gosh. Sorry, y'all. Would be like sharing your why. You can talk about like why you started.
hmm
Um, but then it would be closing it out right here.
hmm
When they place their order. That's when you would talk about like their health goals and start talking about products. But the rest of this, like the buckets of people,
That's like business
yeah,
only, right?
yeah, these are business reach outs. Now I think Adeline used something like this for product reach outs. But I don't know what you did with that, Adeline.
I took the script and I put it into ChatGPT and said to just give me a format for product like how that had it for business, and I just took the format it gave me and I switched things like
Mm,
so that it didn't sound chat GBT.
right.
Like in your
Right,
own
it's very
words.
personal. Yeah.
I like that. So does everybody feel good about Plexus preview?
Absolutely.
So y'all's job, so to speak, this week is not this week. For August is just to invite people. It could be products or business because we're kind of going over both. And then after the first one, you'll kind of see like the same format because it's going to be repetitive to us because it's going to be the same thing every week. The only thing that changes is
Post.
yes, the guest. Sorry.
Well, I have a
Or-
question for one of y'all, Adeline or Jess or whoever. So like just say I have somebody that's interested, but their budget is only like $100. So I know with a lot of our like combos and stuff, it kind of some of them goes over 100 a little bit, but I have someone who's interested in just the active. So I sent her the cart with the twin pack of the active, and it was like 45 PV or something like that. Like, even though it's not 100 PV, like, what do I still benefit from that?
I think you get like 2 points
Okay.
from it. You won't get the business builder and she won't count like as
A
um
VIP.
she'll be a VIP, but she won't count as like how they have incentives for
Uh,
if you get 3 VIPs, you get this. Like she
mhm.
won't count as that.
Okay.
But
It
So,
will count toward your points though. Like you
yeah.
will at least get, but I always try to get, if I'm that close, I try to work my way. Like I would do 3 bags of active to at least get them to 50 PB. Because when you have 50 to 100, you get 4 points.
mm.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, because she was like,
Also
I don't want to
ask
go
her
over
what her
100.
health goals are. Is it just energy?
So she says, Adeline, Adeline knows who she is. It's Miss Christie. And so she says that she already takes like the GLP-1 shot or something in that nature for weight loss and something else for like her hunger, like to curb her appetite. And then she already takes what is it, creatine, I don't know how y'all say it, I'm country. But so she was basically only interested in like just the active because I gave her samples. And then she was like, my budget really is, I want to stay at 100 or less. And so like I was piddling and I was looking and I had one that was like 120. And I was like, well, I mean, that's not major, over it, but it was also 100 PV though. And then like I didn't hear anything back from her or whatever, and so like I just gave it a few days. So then I followed up with her today, um, and she said that she really just wanted to stay at 100 or less. And so that's whenever I offered, I was like, well, I mean, if I can get a sale regardless and get those
Yeah.
points that benefit, I'll still get the points even though it's not 100 PV. And she said she's gonna look at the cart, but I only sent her two, like the twin pack of active. I think I struggle with like I don't know if you call it persuading somebody or like not pressuring them, but like just talking to them, like trying to get them to be like this package is better than this,
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
I
I struggle.
I personally haven't like most of the people that I've sold to so far have been like really close to me, so I could be honest with them, and I would just tell them like, hey, I absolutely, however you want to do it is totally fine. Um, Normally for new VIPs, there's some benefits of doing 100 PV, or I would just say $115. So I think it always works out to it being like almost exactly $115 for 100
Mhm.
PV or close to that. And just tell them I can place the order for you and have it shipped directly to you if you think that they're going to continue order and might order more things. Like,
Mhm.
let's say if you just ordered the double pack of active for her this month, but there's a chance that like, hey, also we have a package that has like the hydrate, the active, and the creatine in it. That could be something that she looked in if she wanted to try the creatine instead of using
Mhm.
what she had. You could try and get that later, then maybe just ordering it for her now that way, and
Mhm.
just tell her the only reason we're doing it this way is because if you choose to order something bigger later, you do like a subscription, you get that first time discount, things like that, that you only
Mhm.
get that first time you order if
Yeah.
you hit like buy a certain thing.
because they only get their 10% off if it is 100 PV.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know the math
But
on this. You might have to look at it, but if she's on the shot, then the Slim microbiome is very good for and beneficial for people on the
I
shot.
can
So
attest. I'm on the shot. I actually
yeah.
have to take my shot tonight.
Well, see, that's what I was saying. So I have somebody else too. Well, currently I'm jobless now. Adeline knows. But anyways,
Same.
um,
Look at us go.
I know, right? So I had somebody that I was really close with at my job who actually just had her surgery for the second time for like the tummy tuck and all that. And she does take I don't remember what it was. I sent it to Adeline. Zipbound, I think. And then she was like, I just don't want to be overly sick, blah, blah, blah. So whenever I was expressing that to Alan, like, okay, I need some details on how to express to her, like, it's going to benefit you more than it's going to like make you sick. And so like all of the information that Adeline sent me, I just let her hear it. I was like, this is somebody that's been on the shot that is doing our GLP-1, and stuff like that. And so I'm just waiting on her to let me know too. So hopefully we can get her on the train too.
I had an issue with like so the funny thing is it's my dad. Because let me tell you, your family will be the first ones to be like, well, it's just not working, or I'm gonna do peptides instead. Like me and my mom are about to throw hands over these freaking peptides because I'm like, you're willing to spend this much money a month, but Plexus is
Too
to
much.
get it's gimmicky. I'm like, whatever, you do you, boo boo. But the doctor just prescribed, yes, I'm talking about my mom, hush. The doctor just prescribed my dad Zepbound because he is overweight. He has high cholesterol, high blood pressure. He's had open heart surgery. Like he's had a lot of issues, and
Hmm.
he needs to get the weight off and he needs his blood pressure to come down. And I am one of those people that I'm not going to knock the shot because I've been on it for 2 years. I lost 85 pounds on it. I have no issues with it. But what we're doing is I'm having my mom order